Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Monday, September 12th, 2022. And because it's a Monday, we're going to do a Monday mukbang. Today, we're testing out new Stroopwafel. Whoops, gotta face it the right way. Rip Van waffles. I don't know if you guys ever had these. I have 3 different flavors with me today: chocolate brownie, cookies and cream, and where'd it go? What was the last one? Snickerdoodle. So we're going to try all of these today. But before we dive into these delicious snacks, or hopefully delicious snacks, I haven't had them before. Before we do that, let's say hi to everyone listening in on the podcast, the audio only version. Hopefully you guys are having a good run out there today. Today, I did go out there for a run. I'm feeling much better head cold wise. Hopefully I'm sounding a little bit better. And I had a really nice run in the rain. Guess what, guys? I found a giant puddle to run through. It was really fun. And it looked, it had just rained a lot here. So like, I knew it wasn't like standing water that had been like kind of like festering, fresh-ish water. So had a nice time stomping through that. Really good. Hopefully you're having as much fun out there as I did. And everyone watching this on YouTube later after the fact, hopefully it's a nice dinner time or dessert time for you. And you can join in on something tasty, waffle variety dessert or otherwise. All right. So, all right. Let's see what we got in the chat. Raymond says puddle run like old times. Yeah, I felt good. You know, I'm looking ahead now towards Chicago Marathon. 5K's done. Marathon training next. I've got like 4 weeks or so until the next race. So, ready or not, here it comes. But yeah, definitely feeling some nostalgia in the water there. Eliza says, hi, Co-Fam. Congrats, Co, on the PB success. Hopefully the Stroopwafels are a tasty celebration of the hard work. Yes, I'm going to ring the cowbell for myself today. I hit a PR or a PB, or whatever you want to call it, over the weekend at the Itasca Oktoberfest. Hopefully you guys have watched the video. That one came out this morning. Wasn't sure how I was going to do. I felt pretty terrible. All the way up to, basically until the gun went off, with the head cold bothering me and stuff. So, but I was able to squeeze out 8 seconds, off of my previous PB. So feeling really good about that. I had a really good time out there running. And that running guy, what's going on? Chris says ditto, and always nice to pick up the age group medal. Yeah, I felt good about it. I don't know how many 40 to 44-year-olds there were out there, but of them all that showed up, I was the fastest out there on Saturday, so feeling good about that. Dominic says, yo, what's going on? Spontaneously hopped into my first road marathon on Sunday. What? And finished in 3:13:44. Awesome. Great work. And he says, so happy that I can finally call myself a marathoner now. Awesome. Great work. Frank says, anyone remember how long it took them to send out acceptances last year? Oh, that reminds me. Today's the day. You can submit times for Boston, right? I got to do that. Someone reminded me about it this morning too, and I still haven't done it. So after the live stream, I'll go and do that. Everyone else, open up a separate, don't close this window. Open up a separate window. If you've got a BQ time, make sure you go submit that today. I think today's the day. JP says, congrats, Co. Appreciate you giving real thoughts and feelings on that race and what kept you motivated. Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, I was definitely... nothing else. It was going to be a mental toughness kind of day. And, it was. And also I worked out too. So feeling good about it. Lucas H is here, says, hello, my running friends. Happy to catch the live stream. And Rainwater says, yo, what's going on? Sean says, hey, everyone, with the wave. Love the 5K video, Kafuzi, especially the mental prep and self-talk stuff. I panic every time the gun goes off, so you've motivated me to work on that. Yeah, it's something that I've talked quite a bit with Thomas, I believe in the run about a lot. And I think that it's something that is hard to practice because we, especially people that run a lot of marathons, we don't race that often. So it's hard to practice that stuff, but it's not something that you can't be practiced. And so that's what I've been trying to really focus on. And I think it's been helping. I think it's been helping a lot. And I think that's really been a key part of that. I've had help along the way. For sure, especially that LA Marathon with Flores and Coach Jimmy. They really helped me think a lot about it in different ways, So, it's, there's panic, but you just got to figure out a way to be in it and let it kind of, slow motion itself, Once you're used to the panic, you realize it's nothing to panic over. and things kind of slow down a little bit. So that's I mean, that's the ultimate goal. You know, I'm not quite at the slow motion phase of it yet. All right. Lucas H says, anyone see the Puma Seasons collection with the trail shoe? Just ordered a pair for my wife. Oh, I haven't seen that one yet. Interesting. All right. Let's scroll down, and while I'm scrolling down and see what you guys are talking about, trying to catch up with you guys in the chat. I'm gonna start eating some of these. I'm gonna start with the chocolate brownie Stroopwafel Rip Van waffles. I don't know if any of you guys have ever tried any. Okay, let's get some focus. Focus. There we go. Focus. I don't know if you've tried any of these. This one is low sugar, which I feel like for a runner food shouldn't be really low sugar. But here's the weird thing: it's got some sugar math on here that I still don't understand sugar math, no matter how many of these things that we've done. So the total carbohydrates on here is 19 total. I don't know if you guys can even see that. 19 total carbohydrates. Dietary fiber, 6 grams. Total sugars, 3 grams. Includes 2 grams of sugar. On the front, it says only 3 grams of sugar. I don't understand how that works. Anyway, I'm not here for the low sugar. There's not that much protein in it. 2 grams of protein, 130 milligrams of salt, 8 grams of fat, 140 calories. So, I mean, you're eating this for the calories if you're going to do this while running or if you're just out there for a day on the trails. But cheers, guys. Happy Monday. It's a little dry, but otherwise it has that satisfying like caramelly soft center of a stroopwafel. But I usually find that the dark colored stroopwafel, the chocolatey ones, aren't as satisfying to eat. The flavor gets a little bit muddled to me. But it does taste like you're eating a brownie. But it tastes more like I'm eating a brownie than I'm eating a stroopwafel. So maybe too successful of a flavor. I don't know. All right. Let's see. Natsuko says, your 5K was literally down the street from me. What drew you to the Itasca area? Nothing drew me to the Itasca area except for the fact that there was a race there. So, I looked up like 5Ks in late August, early September. And I found that one, and it looked like there was a decent number of fast runners. Like, I didn't want to go to one that was like like a run, walk, like a school fundraiser kind of thing. There's lots of those because those are typically not chip timed. This one was USATF certified as a measured course, chip timed, and it historically has had so a lot of really fast runners because I wanted someone else to run with, you know. So that's kind of like how I feel about it. So that's how I ended up with that one. I didn't even know that the Mag Mile race was the same weekend. I guess I don't know how my search didn't come up with that one because that would have been a good one to run too. All right. Let's see, scrolling down. Christian G says, always being told that I overpronate. So I'm stuck in stability for years, humbly running a few miles at a time, a few days a week. Thoughts on the New Balance Bongo version 5, fresh foam versus the Hoka Arahi? Christian, this is a question that I don't really know how to answer. I'm not, people tell me I overpronate all the time, but when I run in or stability shoes, they always hurt my legs. So I don't like them. So I just run in neutral shoes and I just have to deal with angry comments on the internet sometimes. So I don't have experience in either the Vongo or the Arahi, but I think that there's probably some stability runners in the chat that they might be able to help you out. Dominic says, you know you're a one-dimensional athlete when after the marathon, the most sore part of your body are your shoulders. Maybe. That's pretty, or I mean, maybe if you're holding yourself really tight and tense. I don't know. Eric says, sympathize. I found a 50K happening Saturday, and now I'm seriously considering it as only 45 minutes away from me. I mean, why not? You know? Go for it. I think you should do it. I think you should go for it. Eliza agrees too. Steven C 1984 says, I did a 10K time trial last week. Confident I would break 40 minutes for the first time, but surprise, I ran a 38:12. Whoa! That's a great time, Steven. Ooh, painful but worth it. Yeah, that's super fast. Huh. See, the thing is, someone asked me like if I was gonna try and work on a 10K PB for 2023, and I think I'd rather keep working on 5K times and making the 5K time shorter or like better rather than working on a 10K time, because I think there's still a lot of fat for me to like trim off of my 5K time. Plus, I'm kind of starting to like the distance. I don't know. And not that I'm going to become a 5K racer, but um, I'm starting to like it. And so 10K just seems like it's a longer time to hurt, and it doesn't hurt that much less than a 5K, but the 5K is over faster. So I think I kind of like that more. And there's more opportunities. 5Ks are easier to find than 10Ks are around here. So that's kind of my thinking on that one. But yeah, because I feel like if I'm going to run 10K, maybe I should just might as well run a half. I don't know. Maybe that's a weird way to think about it. Life Maximus says, hey, everyone. Nice job in the Itasca 5K. I ran a racer in 2002 when we lived in the area. Dude, you know what? I had never heard of Itasca before this race. And I drive down there. This town is super cute. Very quaint little town. Houses are really pretty. Neighborhoods look really nice and not subdivision-y like it is up here in my part of Crystal Lake. So I was just like, oh, hey, I wish I kind of known about this town before we decided to move out to Crystal Lake. But then on the other hand, I'm like, it was really close to the metro station and it's still relatively close to the city. So I'm like, we probably wouldn't have ended up buying a place there because we wanted to get a little bit further out. But it's just a cute little place. I like it there. Nataku says, so I went over to Nataku's house or neighborhood, and Nataku went all the way downtown. He did the Mag Mile race, and he PR'd. Awesome. Great job. Love it. I love ringing that PR bell. He wants to know though, am I doing the Chicago Half in 2 weeks? Hope to see you there. You know, I don't think I'm gonna do it. I think I need to work on some long runs, because I'm going from. Last week was a taper week, and I was sick, so I took an extra rest day than I normally would have, and then I didn't run yesterday, so I took 2 rest days last week, and one of those days I only ran the 5K, the race. So I ran 36 miles last week. I think that's the lowest mileage week I've had in like 5 years, maybe. So I got some work to do to catch up. Not that I'm gonna like jump into like an 80-mile week this week, but you know, I think I need to get. I think the workouts, the running is gonna be very different. Lots of just easy miles. This first week, I don't even know. I'll probably run some marathon pace miles tomorrow. Sunday is the CARA, Chicago Area Runners Association, Ready to Run 20 miler. It's a supported 20-mile run. It's not a race. Point to point along the lakefront. I did it last year. It was a lot of fun. Thinking about doing it again this year. I just texted my running buddy and see if he wants to do it. So it seems fast for me to be jumping up to the 20-mile distance, because I think the longest I've run in a long while is maybe 16 miles. So it's going to be a lot, but you know, like a Band-Aid, just get right into it, I guess. Adam says the Brits dominated Fifth Avenue mile. Did you see it? I didn't watch. I saw clips and stuff on Twitter afterwards. But yeah, Sean Whiteman, how many times? I think he's won it 3 times now. It's not 3 times in a row though. He's a repeat champion, but is it 3 times in a row? That guy's having the best year ever, right? Is anyone having a better year than him? I don't know. I mean, he's having a miler's like dream year. I just don't know how you can make it better. I mean, I suppose if he won an Olympic gold rather than the World Championship gold, that would be better. But I mean, it's just an amazing year. He had some great races in Diamond Leagues, and I mean, so good. And then Laura Muir also, man, she's having a great year too. You know, I keep getting Laura Muir and Tina Muir the names mixed up. I know in my mind who are the two different people, but I always I always mix up which one's Tina and which one's Laura. But yeah. I mean, it's like just a really strange, like, I guess, like string or concatenation of facts, right? You got Brits dominating the New York, Manhattan, Fifth Avenue mile on September 11th, the same weekend where the Queen is lying in state in Scotland. Isn't that weird? That's like just a strange series of facts. I don't know. By the way, did you guys know? I don't know if this is a secret or not, but Innes did message me about it. Did you know that because of the fact that the Queen died in Scotland, that activated what is known as the Unicorn Protocol? And that's what's going on now is the Unicorn. I don't know what the Unicorn Protocol is, Innes didn't elaborate. But it's the Unicorn Protocol. Because she's lying in state in Edinburgh right now, right? I think. And then or does today, I think today or tonight, she goes to London. Or her body will be taken to London, to the palace. So, but like, there was a whole set of plans of things that was supposed to happen if she did happen to pass in Scotland. That's called the Unicorn Protocol. I mean, this was one heck of a weekend, guys. A lot happened. All right. David Patterson says, I believe I have runner's knee. How long should I expect to not be running for? I think it's not a severe case. Not running is really getting me down. So when I had it, I think I also had on my own case. It was just really bothersome. I did run, but like I basically would run until it bothered me, and then I would shut it down. And it was a lot of just easy running, a lot of shuffling, basically. Like my volume got cut by like half, maybe. Oh, you know what? When I had runner knee, I probably had a week with as little mileage as I'm running now. I did spend a lot of time in the bike. The bike didn't bother me that much. But I think that how long you should expect to not be running, rest isn't going to really fix it. Rest didn't fix it for me. Working on strengthening my knee, a lot of massage, getting encouraging blood flow to the tendons, and also just knee exercises, range of motion stuff. Knee and hips are what I really focused on. Once I started doing that and strengthening the joint, that's what really helped it to not feel bad. So that took maybe about a month from once I finally figured out kind of what to do. New Betra says 60 miles in the Prime X yesterday. Nice. I think this is the fastest I've ever put 100 miles in one pair of shoes. Does the Mega Stack New Balance have the same magic? No, it doesn't. It's a different kind of magic. So the New Balance, it's more for the Prime X is a super stack height shoe for 4-foot strikers. I think the Super Comp Trainer is more for midfoot and rear and heel strikers, because you land real big on like the two pillars of foam that are in the back, and then it rolls you forward real quick. So it's like squish, and then the way the carbon is shaped in there, it kind of like ping shoots you up from behind rather than pushing you forward. It's kind of a little bit different. It's earlier on in the lifting of the foot where you feel the carbon, in my opinion, in that shoe. So it's a little bit different. But you know, I would, you know, I need to find who's a heel striker that really didn't like the Prime X but loves the Super Comp Trainer. I'm guessing that that person, there a lot of people exist like that. That person probably thinks the other way around. It's like, how come the Prime X doesn't have the same magic as the Super Comp Trainer? But for me, it's not the same kind of magic. It's different. It's a little bit different. Brandon Palmer says, I bought a few waffles from my local running store and they were expired by about 6 months. Disappointed. That's a bummer. Let me see these. Mine don't expire until March 30th, 2023. So I'm doing pretty good on this one. Let's open the Snickerdoodle. Speaking of more waffles. Next one is Snickerdoodle. The numbers are slightly different on all these, but kind of all the same. About 3 grams of sugar in this one, 19 grams of total carbohydrate. Again, I don't understand the sugar math. From an allergen perspective, contains milk, egg, and wheat. Main ingredient, chicory root fiber. There's a lot of fiber in these. They really emphasize that. This one has 6 grams of fiber. Is that a lot, guys? I'm actually not sure if that's a lot of fiber. Like, how much is 6 grams of fiber? All right, okay. See, this one looks kind of like a regular stroopwafel. Smells like a cookie. Well, a snickerdoodle. This one's good. I like this one. I'm getting like caramel brown sugar flavor. What's that? Cinnamon I taste? Yeah. Smells strongly of cinnamon. There's also monk fruit extract in here. That one's really good. That's tasty. It doesn't taste like a regular stroopwafel, but like if someone said this was like a fancy stroopwafel, I'd be like, that's right. Or snickerdoodle. You know, I'm not really sure what a snickerdoodle is. I know it's a type of cookie that's popular in the Midwest, but it's not very popular in my wife's family, so we don't come across snickerdoodle very often. So I'm actually not sure what a snickerdoodle is supposed to taste like. I know I've had snickerdoodle candies, like cookies, I mean, and I've had snickerdoodle like bars, you know, like a tray of bars. But like, I can't tell you if that tastes like a snickerdoodle or not, but I like that waffle. It's pretty tasty. It's a good one. All right. Let's see. Let me scroll down. Wafels says, I just can't really imagine eating a stroopwafel during a marathon. Do people actually do that? Seems hard to eat if you're trying to run fast. Here's the thing. Like this doesn't like lend itself to being put into a pocket or like a flip belt or like your half tights. You know what I mean? It'd be crumpled mess by the time you got to it. I mean, I suppose it would warm it up nicely if it was on your body heat for like 12 miles. But I think of these as like, these are great to have in the car for after you've run, you know, or at home after you've run, or in your check bag after the race, or if you're an ultra marathoner, put it in your pack. I think that's kind of like the more pace of this stuff. Again, that's why I think that stroopwafels are weird that they've become this runner food. But like, you know, I'm not mad about it because I do like them. They're tasty. But it is kind of a strange form factor for runners. I agree with you on that one. Where we go? I saw a question from I Am Half Pedro. Oh, Remy, what's going on, Remy? He says waffles are perfect size for a cycling jersey. Ah, that's true. In the back pocket, you know, the thing for cyclists, you can put so much more stuff in the back of the jersey because you're not bouncing around like a runner. That's why that's what I'm so envious about cycling, as like an endurance sport. There's just so much more room for carrying snacks and many more snack options because you're not bouncing around. I just think that's amazing. I'm very jealous. Remy posted something yesterday. I don't know if you saw it. There was a guy that did the Ironman. He had a PR in the Ironman, destroyed his race, did such a good job. Carrying a toddler, his kid, over the finish line, and Ironman gave him a big fat DQ because he crossed the line with a family member. It's ridiculous. I'm Half Pedro says, question for Mike. How many days do you rest after a half or a marathon? Do you go by feeling? Nice 5K. Fire emoji. Thanks. For a half marathon, it depends. A lot of times when I run a half marathon, I'm usually training for a marathon. So I'm not usually like trying to, run for a PR, which may be something I try to do in 2023. Because I do love that half marathon distance. It's a lot of fun. But if I were like, let's say a half marathon was my A race, or when a marathon is my A race, if the marathon's on a Sunday, I definitely will take like Monday and Tuesday off. And then Wednesday, I'll kind of see how I feel. You know, if Thursday would be the latest for me, and I'll just get moving for 30 minutes. You know, and don't worry about distance or pace. Just get out there and get the legs moving, because I feel like at a certain point, mobility is more restorative than rest, and getting things moving helps a lot. So that's kind of how I think about it. Fernando Garza Villarreal says, in terms of the fiber, the daily recommendation for fiber is 30 to 38 grams. So if you eat one of these, you're a fifth of you're like 20% there. All right, 7 grams of fiber. Let's try the cookie. These are really crummy, though. I gotta tell you, they're a little bit messier than, say, like a honey stinger. I do like that they have stroopwafels on airplanes now. I think that's a really good airplane snack. Really tasty. They're always hard to open, though. All right. This one is cookies and cream. Again, it's got the dark color waffle, so I don't know how I'll like it. But it smells good. It smells like a chocolate chip cookie. I was thinking the inside would be creamy colored, but it's more that caramel color. I'm not sure what I'm tasting here. It tastes like an Oreo, and they've got little sandwich cookies drawings on here. That's pretty much all it tastes like, just like straight up like an Oreo. A little bland though. I feel like they could have put more sugar in it. This one has 19 grams of sugar. Total carbohydrates. I don't know. Do the math. But yeah, it's good. I think it needs a little bit more sugar. If it's going to be called cookies and cream, could be more sugar. So I think my favorites are probably the Snickerdoodles number 1. That cinnamon is real nice on it. It's not too overpowering. And then cookies and cream number 2. And then chocolate brownie number 3. I feel like these are also really good to eat on the way to a run. One thing I didn't mention in my 5K race recap from yesterday, or today's video from Saturday, is that on the way there, I had 3 leftover, the last 3 in the house, of cookies from Labor Day that we took from Grandma's house. So that's a magic recipe for me. I got to make sure because I make chocolate chip cookies. They're not like her chocolate chip cookies. So hers are just better to eat before a race, They're really good. So I did have those. All right. Let's see. Shannon's here. What's going on, Shannon? Good to see you. Chris Dyke says, I've taken waffles out for an easy jog many a time. It does get crumbly, but not that hard to eat on easy, even steezy pace. Okay. Where do you put it? Is there just a big... I guess if you have a pair of running shorts with like regular side pockets, it would fit in there. I think that would work. Do we need to have like a follow-up of all these? Of like, then I eat all these snacks and then I also eat them while running? Maybe we need to do that. I don't know. Tim Loma says, just curious, has there ever been serious consideration of reversing the Chicago Marathon course, doing the more industrial, quieter areas first? This year will be my first marathon ever. I would love that. I've thought about that a lot because then like there's always more people on like the north side, through Lincoln Park, up in Boys Town, through Gold Coast, and then, down by the finish line area. I think I would like that better. But it's always been the way it's always been. It was pointed out to me on Twitter that the course has changed slightly this year. And I don't really know what the changes are. I got to look real close at the map, I guess, to see. Maybe I'll compare this year's map but I haven't seen a map that's detailed enough to really show me that I could compare it to like my Strava from last year. So I'm not sure. Brandon Palmer says, as far as the stroopwafel goes, usually I eat a stroopwafel as breakfast on my way to long runs. See, I think the caramel, the sugars, I think they would all break down fast, just like the cookies that I like to eat before a run. I've been trying to get my wife to make some of her oatmeal cookies for me for basically since we moved into the new house. But she did make a big batch of granola for me yesterday. I like her granola a lot. So that's kind of good too, but I can't eat that granola like on the way to a run. I could have it for breakfast before a run or eat it yogurt after a run. But yeah, stroopwafels for breakfast, definitely agree. And Dad Runner Al says, for sure more of a break snack than an actual running snack. Yeah, yeah, break snack, yeah. Break snack's good, but I think a running snack as well if you're taking a break in the run, which, you don't always have to go completely nonstop. H. Runner says, so should I stick with Honey Stinger waffles? How do those compare? I think that if you're looking for a lower sugar variety, then I think these are a pretty good substitute. I think that Honey Stingers probably taste a little bit better. Yeah. So like if one were on sale, I might shop by price on that one. They're pretty close. They're still pretty good, So, Terry says, "Go Foozy. I eat this stuff, so you don't have to. It's a public service." I mean, yeah, I just like to eat stuff too. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. All right. H. Runner says, here's a suggestion. Eat the waffles with untapped maple syrup. Untapped also makes Untapped makes stroopwafels too, I think. But maybe I'll try that sometime. For breakfast, huh? That'd be, I guess if I need more sugar in it, that's the way to go. Jackie says, hey, Mike, if you haven't decided on shoes for Chicago, let it be the Endo Pro 3. I'm thinking about running in the Adios Pro 3. That's the one that I think I'm going to run in. For New York, I'm running with New Balance. I don't know. Hopefully I'll get some SC Elite 3s. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. Sorry, I was just reading some other comments in the chat. But yeah, but I think I'm gonna do. I'm trying to figure out when am I gonna race in the Endorphin Pro 3. So I think if I do the Cara Ready to Run 20 miler this weekend, it won't be a race. I might do like 10 miles. If my running buddy, I haven't heard back from him yet. I just texted him like right before I got on the live stream. But if he wants to do it, I'm going to suggest we do 10 of it at his goal marathon pace. And then the other 10 just easy. But I think I might use the Endorphin Pro 3 for that. And then I'll use the Adios Pro 3 for the race. So that's kind of the game plan so far. Will Gravel says, his suggestion, rather than reversing the route, is to just make it 2 weeks later every year. It would be a better chance for good weather. I think it'd be a better chance for not hot weather. There's been some years where it's been like 40s, which is good marathon racing weather. But it's just really hard on the spectators. But, it's not about the spectators. I think the concern, though, is like 2 weeks later in Chicago, then you're pretty much, that puts you right around Halloween. And it's snowy sometimes around Halloween. So that, I think, is what makes it hard. Plus, they always do it on, Indigenous Peoples Day. So, or that weekend. So, like, the 3-day weekend is, I think, part of the reason why it's always that weekend. All right. Duke BB22 says, how was your first run in the More version 4? It was great. I wanted to keep running. Even though I didn't feel all that great, I was like, I could do this all day. So that More version 4, fantastically fun. It's a great shoe. I'm also thinking about doing the 20 miler next week if I do that one in the More version 4, just because it'll be gentler on my feet. So that's something I might do. Steve King says, hey, Mike, congrats on the weekend PB. Thanks. Well done. I've never seen you review or run in the Next Percent 2. Just wondered why. Great channel, by the way. I didn't think that the Next Percent 2 was that different from the Next Percent 1. So I didn't think it was all that necessary for me to review it. Is there any difference? I think it's just an upper change. I don't think the midsole changed at all, and I don't think the upper even changed all that. Sometimes an upper change can make a huge difference on a shoe. That's what Nike does with the Pegasus. But like, and it always feels very different from year to year, even on an upper only change year. But I didn't think that the next Percent 2 changed that much. So I'm still waiting to get a pair of Alpha Fly. I don't want the orange ones. Although Ben Johnson raced a half marathon in the orange ones this weekend. Mark Peterson sent me some clips that he got of Ben out on the course. Ben Johnson can make the orange ones look good. I would look goofy in those. And the way my colorblind eyes see them, they look horrible to me. So I don't like those. And I don't like the mint and volt midsole color ones. So I'm just gonna wait for another color. So but I'll get to that one soon. But I haven't done the next Percent 2. If they do an X Percent 3 and it's different than what the next Percent 1 and 2 look like, then I'll review that one too. Sean Marshall says, all this waffle in my flip belt talk is giving Napoleon Dynamite vibes. I still think it's really funny that the fanny pack has made such a comeback. I still find it like hard to believe because like I was hardcore like the target year age when fanny packs first like came out, you know. I think I might have been in like 4th or 5th grade, and like that it was just like I remember coming home one day and telling him, I'm like, Mom, I have to have one of these. You gotta get me one. And like she went out and got one. That's the thing about moms. For people that are my age, what their moms had to do, like your kids would come home, like I would come home and describe something that I had seen somewhere on TV with no way to reference it and show her another picture. And she had to figure out where to go to buy one. And like a lot of times they got the right stuff. I don't know how they did it. It was amazing. Like I wonder, was there this like mom phone network of moms being like, Gladys, what is my son talking about? You know, like is there something like that out there? I don't know. I don't know how the moms got it, but they always managed to get it. I mean, sometimes they got it really wrong too. There's lots of fun stories about that in the zeitgeist from people my age, I guess. But I don't know. I still think that fanny packs are always going to be hilarious, no matter how back in trend they become. Lucas H says, I love the idea for a video series of Co eats actual food on a run. I think that we're going to have to, I'm going to need some help. I'm going to probably need someone else to kind of like film it so that you could see me like pulling out of like a pack or shorts or a waist belt. I think that's got to be all part of the experience to share with you guys. Yeah, I'm going to have to, I'll have to figure out a way to do that. We'll have to figure it out. Oh, man. Eric says, yeah, let's see Co eat a whole Italian beef sub on the go. Huh? I mean, that would be, I mean, especially if you dipped it, I mean, that would be pretty tasty. You know, it would be messy for sure. You'd get it all down your arm. But, you know, it would be soft. You know, I feel like softer foods are going to be easier than like crunchy foods. You know, what would be hard would be like a banh mi sandwich because those baguettes are so crunchy. I mean, that's what makes them so delicious. You know what? I really wish I knew how to make a good tofu banh mi sandwich. Like one, I wish I knew how to make those baguettes, but I know that I probably don't have the skills to make that or like the right kind of, I don't know how they make it. I don't know if I have the wrong oven or what. But like, I could eat like a good tofu banh mi sandwich every day. It's like crunchy, sweet, sour, savory, so many good flavors. And it's filling and satisfying. And so, man, that's a sandwich, but that'd be super hard to eat because then things would fall out of it too. I don't know. Oh, man. Midlife Runner says, all right, question. Are you going to negative split your friend through Chicago? Even splits on a 630 mile at 13? No, I'm going to really try and sneak up on his goal. I mean, we have to confer. We have to meet and confer about this one because I don't know where he's at. I haven't talked to him in a little bit. And so, yeah, we'll have to see what he wants to do. But the last time I paced him, it didn't go well. I did a bad job. That's when I ran in Indianapolis several years ago. And I mean, we've run other races together since then, but the only time I ever like paced him was that race. And I ran him like 5 to 10 seconds per mile ahead of schedule, and he blew up at mile like 21, 22, which is what happens when you go 5 to 10 seconds per mile faster for the first 22 miles. So he had a rough day. That's on me for sure. So I think what I'm gonna do is for the first half, make it like real, like if anything, like even pace, if not like a minute or two behind halfway, like even split. So that's kind of the goal, because I think that he's a strong racer as long as he just doesn't burn himself out in the first half. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. All right, Melvin Eubank says, "Hey, co-fam, with the wave, he's a bit frustrated. PR'd my half marathon distance yesterday. Let's get a cowbell for that. PR'd the half marathon distance yesterday at the Queen City Marathon, but when all said and done, ran 21.8 chip time. Not a PR. Question: does it count? Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, so you ran 21.8 on by your watch. The half marathon distance on the watch was a PR, but the chip time was not. I'm gonna say, because I'm gonna say it's not a PR. You can still have the cowbell though, for sure. But you got to get it under the chip time. That's what counts. You got to run the tangents better. That's all part of it, I think. So I mean, like, you could say that that's your PR if you want. Just like if you had run a time trial on your watch and came up with that would be a PR. Sure. Some people don't count time trials as PRs, so it's up to you. What do you feel good about saying? I wouldn't count it, but I wouldn't judge someone who did. So, but either way, you did a great job. Jose Navarro says, "How long are you planning your Chicago taper?" What's going on, Jose? Good to see you again. It's probably not going to be that long for me. I might do like a week taper because I haven't been working that hard yet. I've been working hard on 5K speed, but I haven't been doing a lot of marathon training so far. So my legs are relatively fresh. So which was kind of the point. I've got 3 marathons in 3 months, so this is just the first one. And so I'm not saying that I'm going to train through a marathon, but there won't probably be a huge taper for Chicago, just because I don't think I'll need it yet. We'll see. I mean, we'll see how my body responds. Sean says for New York, say, Mike, tell them you need the Megan running treatment for some custom pics. Yeah, I got to talk to them. I'm just so curious. What do they mean? Is Megan getting a secret, like, custom version of the SC Elite 3s? I don't understand what that means. They keep saying, like, well, she's going to run in the Super Comp trainers, wink, wink. But is she just getting Super Comp trainer upper and then SC Elite 3s? That seems like a lot of effort. Why not just give her the SC Elite 3? Shoe reviewers get shoes early all the time. Like, I don't understand that. Because although I guess Megan's getting to the point where, she may be at a point where her footwear counts or might need to be submitted prior to her racing. I don't think she's quite there yet, but if she's not there yet, she might be soon. You know what I mean? And like other World Athletics rules in terms of general availability of shoes. So I don't know. I don't know if that's why or what. That doesn't quite add up to me, but I don't know. We'll see. Terry says, are you still going to Japan? That's the plan so far. I guess I won't really know much more until we get closer, and it'll depend on what travel restrictions are like. All right. Ibrahim Hussein says, when are you moving to Siberia to review winter gear? Well, probably not Siberia, but maybe, Northern Europe somewhere. Scandinavia, that area. That'd be a real fun trip to just go and test a whole bunch of winter gear. Or just like go somewhere in Canada. I don't think I have to leave that far to get somewhere that has like, if I want to test winter gear in the fall, right, then I think I could probably go to Canada and find places where I can, at least in the early morning, run in like wintry type of conditions, So I don't know when I'm going to fit that in. I got to figure that out. I got to get myself together and reach out to some brands so I can get like shipments of stuff early so I can start doing that stuff. And then I got to plan, where am I going to go? Where am I going to stay? How do I fit that into marathon training? So I'm behind the 8 ball by a lot on that one, but hopefully we'll do that. Yeah, I got to get it done. I got to stop messing around. I got to get serious. In 2019, Jackie UI says, 2019 New York City Marathon had honey stinger waffles at the Start Village. It's a good snack. I would really enjoy that. That'd be great. I think, would you guys rather have a bagel before a race or a honey stinger waffle? Follow-up question. Let me specify. Would you rather have a New York City bagel? For those of you who have only had bagels like on the West Coast or in Colorado, Midwest, you guys don't even know. But if you guys know the wonders of an East Coast bagel, would you rather have an East Coast bagel or a stinger waffle? I think it would depend on the bagel. If we're talking about New York, honey stinger waffles are great, but just give me a nice big fat bagel. But if we're talking about like, Sacramento before like CIM, I'll take the honey stinger waffle. I think that makes a difference. Going back to like the moms and how they managed to help us survive growing up in like the 90s. It says, shout out to moms that had to drive us to games and school activities without Google Maps. Totally. You know what? My wife and I tried to explain to my daughter, who's 10 now, that growing up, we didn't have like, phones and like Facebook Messenger Kids and text messaging and all that stuff to like let each other know where we were at all times. And so the only way you knew was you got on your bike and you rode your bike around the neighborhood and you saw whose bikes were outside whose houses, or you found people at the park or something. You just rode around until you found people, And she was like, you didn't. Because I tease her a lot. I make up stuff a lot. And so she has a pretty good BS meter. But she was like, no, you didn't do that. That doesn't make any sense. I could see in her mind, she's like, that's completely inefficient. Why would you do that? But yeah, she didn't believe me at all. That's what we had to do. All right. Super Unjit says, banh mi are the best. They are. It's such a good sandwich, isn't it? He says, seriously, banh mi for lunch, pho for dinner all winter. See, pho is a good dish, but I think it's okay. Banh mi is like a perfect sandwich, though. It's really good. All right. Let's do a couple more, and then I think everyone's hungry, so I'll let you guys go so you can eat. And it's this here. He goes, on holiday to New York, I went out one morning for a bagel, and it lived up to expectations. Wow, thank you for backing me up on that one. They're so good, aren't they? The chew, the difference between the crusty outside and the chewy inside, that the texture is what's really good. Just delicious. Yeah, Fernando says he'd rather have a bagel rather than a honey stinger for a marathon. Sean wants a bagel with the stroopwafel as the filling in between. And Jackie says waffles before, bagels after. That's good. I could go with that. And Jason says, if it was a real New York City bagel, I would take that 100%. That's a good answer as well. Stevie76 says New York City water makes the bagel. People have done a lot of thinking on that, because like chefs have taken like shipped the water like from New York tap. It's really expensive to move water because water's relatively heavy, but they've shipped like the water to make it in California to make like a real New York style pizza in say San Francisco, for example, and it just doesn't taste the same. So I think what people are saying is just like for the same reason San Francisco sourdough is so delicious is it's what's in the air that the yeast are using as they rise, all part of that, process. That helps make the flavor as well. But it could be the water. I don't know. But they're just delicious over there. Also, here's the thing. I think here's how I differentiate East Coast food and West Coast food. East Coast food is delicious because there's ritual to it. West Coast food is delicious because there's novelty to it. So I feel like West Coast is about exploration and experimentation, and that's what makes it delicious. Because there's so many different kinds of food from so many different kinds of places, especially in Southern California where the weather just grows everything. And it's a relatively young state age-wise. And so like there's a lot of like newness to it. In New York, on the East Coast, growing up, I grew up in New Jersey with diner culture. Things are delicious because you've been going there a long time, and you and your friends have been going there a long time. Your family might have been going there for generations, that kind of thing. So I think there's just so much history to the New York City bagel as well. That's also, you're eating the history, in my mind. I think that all adds to it. Yeah. H-Town says, isn't Chicago perfect for testing winter gear? You guys get some cold weather. It is, but it doesn't get cold till it's cold time. So like ideally what I would love to be able to do, and I guess I'll end on this one today. Ideally what I would love to do is to be able to get all these winter clothes 2 or 3 months ahead of time. So that way I can test them thoroughly. I guess I only need them like a weekend or two ahead of time. So I could test them thoroughly. So that way, once it starts getting cold, I've already done a whole bunch of like actual, like not 40 degree, 30 degree testing, but like 10 degree, 15 degree temperature testing. So that's kind of like the goal. Same thing with fall stuff. Today, I actually wore a jacket because it was cold and rainy and windy. But it's the first time I wore a jacket in months. So like I need to probably just get up to some mountains somewhere. Maybe go to Boulder, maybe go to Mammoth. Maybe go to Flagstaff. Maybe go to Canada. I don't know, but I'm not dying to do more traveling. I traveled so much this summer. I'm like yesterday, we just stayed home. It was raining. We just baked all day. I loved it. We did nothing except baking and just spend time in the house. But like, I feel like I need to do some traveling, test some of this stuff out, get some fun footage, and, beat myself up a little bit, So that's kind of what I'm thinking. All right. Tomorrow, I don't think we'll have a video, but we'll do another live stream. Let's think of a game. I got to think of a game that we could play. So we'll have some fun tomorrow as well. So hopefully I'll see you then, same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.